We've got over 6,000 villages in the United Kingdom. And if you took the village idiot from every village, right, and put them 6,000 village idiots into Tottenham, David Lammy would still be the village idiot.
Lee Anderson erupts in Parliament after David Lammy takes responsibility for controversial decision. You're not going to believe what just happened in Parliament. Lee Anderson, never one to hold back, just erupted after David Lammy admitted something that sent the entire chamber into chaos. This wasn't a small disagreement. This was personal, political, and explosive all at once. And the way it played out left MPs stunned, the Speaker furious, and social media absolutely on fire. Because what Lammy said wasn't just another line in a speech, it was an admission that could change how people see one of Labour's biggest decisions in months. Let's unpack exactly what went down, because this moment might just redefine how both men are remembered in British politics. It started like any other session: questions, answers, and the usual back and forth between government and opposition. But when the topic shifted to the recent policy decision that's been dividing Parliament for weeks, everything changed. David Lammy stood up, clearly ready to defend his corner. He began calmly, outlining the reasoning behind a move that's drawn both praise and outrage. But as the opposition benches started jeering, Lammy did something few expected. He said, in his own words, "Yes, I take responsibility. It was my call." The chamber froze. For a few seconds, there was silence, then an uproar. And that's when Lee Anderson jumped in. He shot up from his seat, his voice booming through the hall. "So you admit it then? You're the one who made that decision, and now look where it's got us." The Speaker tried to intervene, but it was too late. The moment had already gone viral before the debate even ended. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear. Lammy wasn't confessing to any crime or scandal. He was taking political responsibility for a controversial policy decision that many say backfired. But in the world of politics, those two words, "I'm responsible," can mean everything. And Anderson knew exactly how to use that moment. He hammered away, accusing Lammy of failing the public, calling the decision reckless and short-sighted. The energy in the room was electric. Some MPs nodded along, others shouted back in defense of Lammy. The Speaker called for order multiple times, but you could feel it. The tension wasn't just political. It was personal. Here's the thing about Lee Anderson: love him or hate him, he's never afraid of confrontation. He's known for his raw, no-filter approach, and that's exactly what made this exchange so explosive. Lammy, on the other hand, has built his reputation on intellect and conviction. But when passion meets pride in the middle of Parliament, sparks fly. And that's exactly what happened. By the time it was over, both men had landed their punches. Anderson's verbal, Lammy's defensive but sharp. Clips hit social media within minutes. One video titled, "Lee Anderson Destroys Lammy Over Admission," racked up 500,000 views in under an hour. But not everyone agreed with that framing. Some users fired back. At least Lammy took responsibility. When's the last time a minister did that? Others called it classic Parliament theatre, dramatic, noisy, but ultimately just another day in British politics. Still, what Lammy said carries serious weight. He took ownership of a decision that's drawn heavy fire from both inside and outside Labour, a rare move in today's political climate, where most leaders dodge accountability like it's contagious. One political analyst put it best on Sky News. Whether you agree with Lammy or not, that was gutsy. Politicians don't usually say, "I'm responsible." They say, "We're reviewing," or "lessons will be learned." And that's exactly why this moment struck such a nerve. Anderson wasn't just reacting to policy, he was reacting to honesty. The kind of honesty that can either rebuild trust or destroy it, depending on how the public perceives it. This isn't just about two men shouting across Parliament. It's about accountability, something the public's been demanding more of for years. Whether it's expenses, immigration, international relations, people are tired of politicians dodging questions, blaming systems, or hiding behind committees. So when Lammy said, "I take responsibility," some viewers saw courage. Others saw confession. That divide tells you everything about modern politics. Truth doesn't just live in what's said, it lives in how it's heard. Now, Lee Anderson, ever the populist, didn't let the moment go to waste. Outside Parliament, he doubled down in interviews, saying, if Lammy admits he made the call, he should stand by the consequences. People are paying the price for his decision. It was sharp, strategic, and politically speaking very effective. But Lammy's allies fired back just as fast. One Labour MP told ITV, "This shows leadership. The Conservatives wouldn't know responsibility if it hit them in the face." Even some neutral commentators acknowledged the rare honesty. "It might have been uncomfortable," one journalist wrote, "but it was real and voters appreciate real." Social media, as always, became the battlefield. Hashtags like #LammyAdmission and #LeAndersonClash started trending by evening. One tweet read, "Anderson shouted. Lammy owned up. You decide who came out stronger." Another, more cynical one said, "They both lost Parliament looked like a playground again." And that's the paradox: two politicians, both trying to appear strong, both walking away with mixed reactions. In today's political world, it's not just about being right. It's about looking right. So, what's next? Sources inside Labour say Lammy's team is already spinning the moment as a sign of integrity. They want the public to see him as a man who takes responsibility, not one who hides from it. Meanwhile, Anderson's camp is framing it as proof that Labour's top figures are admitting failure, a narrative that could gain traction with frustrated voters. Whichever story sticks will depend on what happens next and how both men handle the fallout. Because one thing's for sure, this moment won't fade quietly. In the end, maybe that's what politics has come to. Not quiet diplomacy behind closed doors, but open clashes that spill into headlines and hashtags. And while some will see this as just another dramatic day in Westminster, others will see it as a glimpse of something deeper: accountability, anger, and the constant battle between truth and perception. So, as the dust settles, one question remains. Did Lammy's honesty make him stronger, or did Anderson just turn it into his biggest weakness yet? Because in politics, sometimes, telling the truth isn't the end of the fight. It's just the beginning.